Welcome back to another guide for the Outlast trials. Today I'm going to be talking about the set of MK challenges seen in the police station. There are 5 total MK challenges, each based on the map of the police station and expanding on parts of it. This guide won't be as thorough as the main trial purely because of how short the MK challenges are, but I will cover the main objective, what rigs are helpful, and the enemies that appear in the trial. Without further ado, let's get into it. In this trial, you're tasked with finding keys and dead bodies around the basement of the police station in order to kill reagents. When you first enter the main room, you'll find 3 symbols on screens that each tell you which body to look out for. Remember that the X-ray rig can help you find which bodies have keys in them more quickly. There are 3 sectors in the basement with each having their own key and their own enemies. Sector 1 is based on the first half of the basement, and the enemy you'll encounter here is a Berserker. The bodies will most likely be in areas where he can't go to, but there is a chance of a body being in close proximity to where he is, so just be warned. Sector 2 is based on the second half of the basement with a brief extension into a new area. Here you'll find an X-Pop and a heavy X-Pop patrolling the area. The bodies will mostly be towards the new extension area, but very rarely will there be one body that spawns in this area. Sector 3 is an entirely new area of the basement, and an X-Pop will be patrolling the area. You'll find that some doors will be blocked and you can only go to all 3 sectors from the main room. There's another extension to the basement, the back tunnels. You can use these to move between the sectors more quickly. Make note of this area as it will also be helpful in a future trial. After you've found and inserted all 3 keys, you now have to escape. Coil will appear from the insertion gate here and will start to make his way to the shuttle. You could set a blind rig in front of the insertion gate or just use the stun rig to slow him down. On higher difficulties, a heavy X-Pop will also be near the shuttle, so be prepared for that possibility. In this trial, you'll have to carry a gas canister all throughout the basement and its extensions to a generator at the very end of it to escape. You'll mostly find the same enemies as in Cancel the Autopsy, but Coil will be present at all times in this trial. He may not know exactly where you are, but he patrols the areas you're currently in. Since you're carrying a gas canister, you won't be nearly as fast as you would be normally. You're going to want to invest your vouchers into speed prescriptions and especially into the Tier 2 prescription, Heavy Training. Navigating through the basement can be quite daunting, especially when trying to deal with the enemies in each sector. But this is why I mentioned those tunnels earlier. When you immediately enter the basement, you can lift up this gate and go through the back tunnels as a shortcut, but also avoid all of the enemies since they rarely ever go back there unless a pathway is blocked. Speaking of which, sometimes the back tunnels can be blocked themselves, forcing you to navigate through the sectors, but this is very rare. Once you carry the gas canister to the end and start the generator, you now have to escape. Instead of going back to the place you entered the trial, you keep going forward to this end and call the shuttle home. This is one of many MK challenges that you'll have to escape to a place you didn't enter, so don't be like me the first time I played this and go all the way back to the start only to find that there's nothing there for you. Coil and a heavy X-Pop will be patrolling the area around the shuttle, so make sure you have the stun or blind rig with you. This trial tasks you with finding a key somewhere in the area to open up the security room to free the prisoners. In co-op, you'll all be separated and enter the trial in 4 different spots. Each of you will have to navigate your sector and find the key to open up the security room. On solo, you'll enter the trial through one of the random spots instead. The types of enemies you encounter are randomized. One sector might have a heavy X-Pop patrolling it, but it might also have a Night Hunter patrolling it the next time you play. You'll notice these doors which can only be bursted down with another player, or by yourself if you have the Smash Amp. These doors lead to the other sectors where you can help your friends and vice versa. Keep in mind the secondary objective might be a bit RNG dependent, since your sector might not have what's required to collect. So if you're playing solo, you may have to traverse to the other sectors before completing the trial. Coil will be patrolling the hallways and offices leading to the security room. You can bait him with the blind rig, or you can simply just stun him with the stun rig. After you free the prisoners, you'll have to escape through where you escaped and kill the snitch. Coil and a heavy X-Pop will now start to patrol the area around the shuttle. This part isn't much different from Kill the Snitch's escape. This trial has you exploring every floor of the police station. Here you'll have to find and replace a film reel by using a set of keys to find which door has the film reel you need, and the doors can be on any floor of the map. When you open the very first door, you're given 2 keys. These 2 keys won't lead you to the film reel, instead they'll lead you to more keys, which are the ones that unlock the door the film reel can be behind. The X-ray rig can help you find which door has the film reel, so once you know where it is, you only need to look for that key. You'll normally see Coil patrolling the first floor of the map. The second floor always has an X-Pop patrolling around where you need to replace the film reel. In the basement, you'll find either an X-Pop, Heavy X-Pop, or Night Hunter. Once you find the film reel and bring it up to the second floor to replace it, you'll have to escape to the place you entered. If you don't hurry right away, Coil will spawn through the insertion gate and cut you off, making you deal with him. In this trial, you'll be navigating the same basement sectors you did in Cancel the Autopsy and Sabotage the Lockdown. Once you get to the gymnasium, you're tasked with throwing a box of files into a grinder. Then the clock will start, with 7 minutes in solo and 4 minutes in co-op. You'll have to go across all the sectors and find 9 more boxes randomly set throughout. The boxes need to be brought back to the grinder in the gym, and destroying one causes one of the red lights to go off. These lights indicate how hard your escape will be when the timer is done. The more boxes you destroy, the easier your escape. The enemies present are mostly similar to Cancel the Autopsy and Sabotage the Lockdown, and Coil will sometimes spawn through the insertion gate and patrol the surrounding area. Once the timer is done, you need to go back to the gymnasium, and then the real trial begins. Now, you'll need to escape. The escape point is in the same place it was in Sabotage the Lockdown, but there's a catch. The shuttle has already arrived, and you have 3 minutes to get there. Depending on how many boxes you destroyed, enemies will spawn all around the trial. Destroying all the boxes means that no enemies will appear. Destroying only a few means that more and more enemies will appear. This trial is entirely dependent on your ability to find the boxes and getting them back in time. It's really important to get speed prescriptions and heavy training for this trial. You'll definitely need it if you want to destroy all the boxes. Also make sure that you break down some doors or clear any traps before the timer is done. You don't want to get caught in a corner when trying to escape. And that's it. Those are all the MK challenges for the police station. I hope this guide helped you in some way, shape, or form. Let me know if I missed anything. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the sleep room.